bruh, bruh, bruh.
It's rubbish attempt at creating a factual acronym Tuesday.
Well, hey there, everybody. It is time. It is time to take a look at a game that I have put off for entirely too long. Decades, in fact. Yeah, this one goes way back. Many of you will be familiar immediately. Just seeing the faintest notion of the gameplay, you'll be taken back. You will remember things from times long ago. Because this is Halo Combat Evolved. Now, what am I going to tell you about Halo that you don't already know? I doubt very strongly that I know anything about Halo that y'all don't already know. And that is because I have not been a Halo player for a long time now. The only thing I really have to offer is my own personal story with Halo, which ties into everything that Halo means in terms of changes to the world of gaming. Because there is gaming before Halo and there is gaming after Halo, and those are two very different worlds. It was a major shift in the world, especially of first-person shooting. Huge difference before and after Halo. So the version you're going to see me playing here is obviously Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition, which is part of the Master Chief Collection bundle. I purchased these a while back and just have not played them because Halo was traumatizing for me. It really was, and that is a story unto itself. So kick back and relax for a moment because I'm going to lay this on you. I left the country in 1998. Got myself out for a little bit. Seemed a good time to do it too. And I was living in a third world country for a while, couple few years. And then I came back and so many things had changed. When I left, the worst thing on the radio was Third Eye Blind. It's just not that bad. It's just overplayed at the time. And when I came back, it was like Britney Spears and the Backstreet Boys. Y'all done had ruined everything. And gaming itself had changed. I remember seeing GoldenEye for the first time and played it at a party. It was really funny. They were like, "Yeah, we're gonna have a male bonding night." And what they meant was bonding, playing James Bond 007, the GoldenEye. And yeah, because at first I was real weirded out. I'm like, why would I want to go to a male bonding night? I don't know any of these people, and I don't know that I want to know them better yet. Yeah. And then it turned out to be GoldenEye. And that was my first time playing that particular one. It was not my first time playing, I go all the way back with LAN Party, first-person shooting. It was a good time. My personal favorite and my friend's personal favorite, we liked playing in Half-Life. That was the jam. Because Half-Life LAN parties, just so good back in the day. And yes, of course, if we had been smarter and richer, we would have purchased things like Counter-Strike, Team Fortress. Yeah, obviously, we would have. But we just played straight up Half-Life in multiplayer mode. So I was not a schlub in terms of LAN party, person versus person, friend versus friend, arena type shooting. But yeah, then everybody got really excited about Halo. And I did not have access because I had just gotten back into the country, was getting myself reestablished, finding a job, getting back in school, all of those things. And so I was poor as dirt. I didn't have console money, and specifically not Xbox, the original X. I almost said Xbox One money, but then I'm like, oh, that's right. They named them stupid things. Yeah, so I didn't have money to purchase Halo Combat Evolved, nor did I have money to purchase an Xbox. And so everybody else, it was the same thing all over again that it had been with the NES. My parents didn't buy one. They're like, no, we have gaming system at home. And gaming system at home was Atari, And so, yeah, I was left out of the loop. And the times when people would get together and be like, hey, let's play Halo. And it seemed like every party that I went to around this time devolved eventually into all the guys playing Halo and all the girls sitting around going, gee, this is fun. For real. And I hated it. I hated it so much because I was bad. I have never, ever learned how to play a first-person shooter with a controller. And that sound crazy? Like 99.9% of the world plays Call of Duty, and 99.9% of the world plays with controller. I own many Call of Duty games. I've never played Call of Duty, and I am a keyboard and mouse man, have always been. And so it was a problem because you couldn't play Halo keyboard and mouse. I mean, yes, eventually they did release a PC version that everyone was like, well, this is inferior. So I was not inclined to play it. And I really hated Halo. I really, really did. Deep down, burning hatred of the game. But I also recognized its quality, because let's talk about its quality. Quality undeniable. Everything about this game just reeks of quality. The sounds and the feels of it, you know, when your shield goes down, the beeping and then the of your shield coming back online, you know, it's exactly right. And just the idea that you have access to most of the game's guns early on. There's not a lot of guns that you're gonna get in game that you don't have access to early. And so it's a matter of, you know, choosing what works for you and finding your way through. And that was new. That was new and interesting, because that's not how most first-person shooters worked. Most first-person shooters worked on the principle of, like, well, you start with a pea shooter, you know, and then by the end of the game you have a bazooka. And that's just how that worked, all the way back from, you know, Wolfenstein to Doom to everything. First-person shooters had always been that way, and Halo presented itself as combat evolved. And indeed, it was evolved. You know, it was also the first game that I remember seeing, you know, the warthogs, the vehicles, you know, and those aren't the only vehicles in game. You've got ghostesses that if you kill the dude and don't blow up the vehicle, kudos, yeah, then you can hop on and take out some fools, assuming that you yourself do not get blown to bits on your ghosty. Yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff that you can do in-game that you just could not do before. And the multiplayer was intense and crazy, and you had to literally be skilled. There were a lot of games back in the day that you did not have to be specifically skilled in the gameplay of that game. You just had to kind of generally know. I remember the first time I played a game in VR was in a mall in Utah. And, yeah, just random, the old Galleria Mall, if that rings any bells for some people. And, yeah, like, they had this random, you know, virtual reality setup to play Rise of the Triad. And, you know, my family was playing it with me, and they got wrecked because I had played a lot of Doom. And because I had played a lot of Doom, I was prepared for Rise of the Triad. It was not that big of a change. And indeed, that was the case for the longest time. And then Halo was the first game that came along that was like, no, you're going to want to get good specifically in the type of combat that you're going to be doing in this game. And so the combat involved is not a lie. And obviously, there's a tons of lore that goes super deep. And I could tell when I was standing on the outside looking in on this game. For decades, I could tell that I was missing something, that there were things that other people had experienced that I had not experienced. And so, yeah, it became necessary for me to purchase the Master Chief Collection, and then I put off playing it for the longest time because I had been fragged so many times, and fragged and teabagged, you know, so many times at so many parties, and people just laughing and being like, haha, you are so embarrassingly bad. And it's like, yeah, I cannot get better at this game because I don't have the ability to practice, and you need to practice. You can't practice in game because, you know, people are going to spawn kill you and then sit on your face. So, yeah, it became severely embarrassing just even touching this game. And so I really had to come around on it. I really had to decide that it was something that I wanted to do, but ultimately I wanted the experience. I still don't give a crap. Like, Halo is very responsible for the fact that I don't like playing multiplayer games, cooperatively or competitively. I just do not care for the proposition, and Halo has a lot to do with that because I got so tired of getting wrecked. And before I even realized what I was doing wrong, you know, just unforgiving in the multiplayer if you were not good. And, you know, that does speak to the quality of the game because it was the first game that really built itself on the idea that, like, yes, you do have to get good. It's not just a matter of having more guns or bigger guns or having survived the level enough to be like, okay, well, if I survive that level, I'm probably going to survive this one. Nope. You have to pick up the skills and you have to adapt and get better. Now, you will have seen in the gameplay that I am tentative as hell, that I am, like, you know, peeking around corners, not getting into the fray. Depending on how far I make it in the gameplay, I do some really stupid things once I get outside in the snow, and I get fragged for it. So, you know, lesson learned. Don't do stupid things. Take cover. Be smart in how you use your ammo. Stockpile ammo as much as you can, and then use it smartly. All of these things. You know, it's not like games before this didn't present a sense of reality. It's that this was a leap forward that created everything that came after it. You know, the type of multiplayer experience that you have in other games today. You know, everything from PUBG and CSGO. I mean, even Fortnite. No matter what you want to name, this is the granddaddy of all of those. And so it's important. It's monumentally important. And so what am I going to do with it? Because, again, I have hated this game for forever. And I didn't play any of its sequels. And so on the plus side, I get to experience all of those things for the first time. Doesn't that make you jealous? Like, isn't that a beautiful thing when someone gets to experience something that you love for the first time? Yeah, this is me experiencing it for the first time. Recognizing the quality, recognizing the roots of everything that is happening in gaming now as having come from this game and the things that it did right. Because when they set out to make this game, they were like, let's make a first-person shooter, but not just any old first-person shooter. Let's make it smart and interesting and full of lore and an interesting world. I mean, the very concept of Halo itself is fantastic. Great sci-fi writing. Just great sci-fi writing. I read a lot of sci-fi novels, and as a big old sci-fi reading nerd, I could tell you, great sci-fi writing. Anyway, so what am I going to give this as a final score? I'm not going to give it a percentage score. I'm sorry. I cannot do that. Because I feel like any percentage score I give it would be disingenuous. I'll give percentage scores to Halo 2, 3, 4, Reach, whatever else is in the Master Chief Collection that I haven't noticed yet. But this one, I'm going to give it a... I guess I'm finally okay with it. Out of a possible... I have problems with it. So... I'm getting over it. I'm getting over it, people. And I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. And I'm getting better at it. But if you want to play multiplayer, my answer is no. Not in a million years. Never no. The trauma of this game is too much in terms of multiplayer. There's no world in which I will play you multiplayer in this game. No. Not for any amount of money. Not for any short period of time. I do not care. I will not play you multiplayer in this game. Anyway, people, yeah, that's going to do it for this one. And I will see you in the next one. Okay. Bye.